It's been said many times before that Roblox hosts some of the best and worst games ever created by human beings, and no genre on the platform captures that dichotomy more than horror. Roblox horror games can either be complete masterpieces from top to bottom, like Far From Land and Jim's Computer. They can be incredibly fun and polished multiplayer experiences like Doors of Forgotten Memories, or they can also be worthless piles of meaningless trash. Rushed, broken, bland, and unfunny games seem to dominate the Roblox horror subgenre, each one just being a derivative clone of the last. And in a world where most people somehow waste their lives playing freaking Souls RNG, of all things, it seems like the bar for Roblox games just continues and continues to drop. But there are some developers out there who will not settle for mediocrity. They don't just see Roblox as a pathetic platform made for children, they see it as a place where you can actually go to make good games. And there is one developer who, despite never really getting as much fame as he deserves, continues to make innovative and fun Roblox horror games. I'm talking of course about Octic, the creative mastermind behind the Containment and Confinement games. Short, atmospheric horror games about old Robloxians escaping derelict facilities. These games do not have a single jump scare inside of them. In fact, these games actually prioritize combat and puzzle solving for the most part. But their visuals, their sound design, their art direction, and just the general vibe and quality of the games really make them genuinely terrifying. Which all leads up to their latest game, Traversal. Traversal is incredible. This bad boy has been in the works for almost 18 months at this point, and after beating it with a friend, I can confidently say that this is one of the best Roblox horror games out there. But what is the lore of this game? The ending is very unexpected and random, and almost anticlimactic in a way. At first, the game leads you through all these massive rooms. It baits you with like a boss arena like 3 times. There has to be a reason for this, right? Well, strap on in friends, and be sure to like and subscribe, because today we are going to be asking the question, what is the lore of Traversal? So let's start with a recap of the game's events. The player starts out trapped in a room with no escape. A strange man with a red mask gives the player a knife and allows them to escape the room. From there, the player has to sneak around this strange church-like building, all while avoiding and silently taking down enemies one by one. Eventually, they escape the building and head out into the open, where we can see that the building that we were in was a funeral home. The player traverses... Get it? Okay, that was a really bad joke. I will never do that again. Around abandoned streets and makes their way to a warehouse. After fighting their way through there, they make their way to this strange hotel-looking building overlooking what appears to be the ocean, but I could be mistaken on that. The player fights their way through there, encounters 2 strange bunnies with chainsaws, avoids a massive camera, and eventually makes their way to the end. At the end of the game, the red man appears out of the shadows, opens a briefcase containing something golden and shiny, and then turns his head 180 degrees to stare at the camera. The game then cuts to a black screen and ends. So yeah, the game's plot is essentially non-existent, but that's kind of just how Octic's games are. He's said in the past that his other projects like Containment and Confinement are not meant to have one set interpretation for the story and can be taken many different ways. So let me preface this by saying that this is my interpretation of the story. If you have a different one, I would definitely love to hear about it in the comments. But anyways, yeah, let's go. So, let's start with some things that are less disputable and left up to the imagination. The enemies in this game are normal people who seem to have joined a cult of some sort. We can see them wearing a variety of clothes, including some that wear jackets that have a district logo on the back, implying that there was some sort of government and control here before something happened, causing everyone to join this cult of masks. The masks don't really seem to have too much symbolism behind them, they're just masks that are worn by the cultists here. The enemies can also be occasionally heard doing demonic whispers once they start congregating, implying that there might be more supernatural forces at play. But at the very least, this signifies that they are a cult. Looking at the state of everything in Traversal, it seems as if some sort of explosion or apocalyptic event happened, which caused this place to go to all hell. We can see that the buildings and facilities are abandoned and broken, completely derelict, now being taken over by the cult for their own purposes. This is further emphasized by the muted and grayed out colors of all the wildlife we see in Traversal, which is further evidence that something incredibly wrong happened here. Next, we have all the cameras. They're actually pretty interesting as they don't serve any purpose in the gameplay. Even the giant camera at the end, just nothing but be a cool visual thing. However, written on the cameras that's really visible in one of the teasers is the word liars, written in blood. This seems to imply that whoever was watching through the cameras tricked the people on the other side, i.e. either the cult or the player wrote this. Though it's probably the latter, since the cult doesn't really seem to care at all about the cameras. And that got me thinking about this whole thing. See, the players are in prison clothes, meaning that they were prisoners, probably brought here to this place due to some crimes or some other thing. And with that revelation, everything starts to make sense. Allow me to set the scene. The players are prisoners, brought to this derelict place against their will with no memory of how they got here. This place has been abandoned, destroyed by some unknown tragedy that makes those who remain cult-like and insane. The Red Man is a benefactor of sorts, giving the prisoners tools that they need in order to escape this place. All while the people who sent them here in the first place watched through the cameras. They lied to the player, and brought them here to a place where their death would be most likely sealed. In the event that they do escape, the Red Man appears from the shadows at the end, and rewards them for their bravery and by giving them a gift. The gift of freedom. It's all very symbolic, but it ties everything together neatly with a bow. But there is still one lingering question. Why does the Red Man turn his head 180 degrees and stare at the camera? Well, what if he's literally staring at a camera in sort of defiance, or just to let the people on the other side know that he knows that they're there? There isn't a camera in the last room, but this is kind of a stretch because there isn't really a camera in that last room. But what if the player isn't actually like playing, but what if they're actually just, watching the prisoners that were sent here? We are one of the ones in the district, if that kind of makes sense. I'm not really explaining it kind of the best way, but maybe you get it, I think, I don't know. But yeah, I don't really know if Traversal will see any more updates or expansions, but I hope this video helped explain the story, or at least how I see the story. It's an amazing game, and I hope you check it out if you haven't already. But anyways, that's all I really got for this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.